Hello, I'm Leslie Jimenez. Welcome to my studio.
Leslie, I detect an accent. Where are you from?
I'm from the Dominican Republic. I get that a lot. I never thought I had an accent. Now I know.
And how does your ethnicity and culture affect you as an artist and your works?
It does affect my work in a very strong way, since everything I do and most of the work I produce comes from my concerns as a Dominican woman living in New York. And my cultural background, I think, is the battlefield from where all the work I do comes from.
And what brought you to New York?
I wanted to be an artist, and in the process, I needed to go to the university, and I got a scholarship to go to Parsons, and basically that's the reason why I came. I stayed because I love being in New York, and being an artist in a place like this is a very high and big privilege. So I've been able to work and to discover myself again since I came.
So you said you came to it because you wanted to be an artist. I find that statement interesting. Most artists I talk to kind of either fall into it or at a young age realize this is something I want to do. When was that moment for you that you realized I want to be an artist?
I always wanted to create things and do things with my hands and take everything that I had in my mind in some way outside of the world, and the way for me to bring those ideas was creating them. But at some point in high school, I realized that I wasn't going to be able to say everything I wanted to say and bring all the things I wanted to bring to the world without being an artist. And at that moment, I think it clicked, and I realized that was a serious thing. So it was just not a hobby anymore, and it was a career path that I could follow.
And you have a twin sister. Is she an identical twin?
She's not an identical twin. She's a very different person than I am, but at the same time we are very connected and we are complemented a lot.
And is she artistic?
She's not artistic. She's more of an analytic person. She's into administration, mathematics, and more of a practical approach to life. And that's when I think the complement comes. Instead of being very similar, we're very different, and I think we have what each other needs in order to be complete as a set of twins.
In your studio, your paintings, to me, the color palette you chose and choose to use are very Caribbean colors and island colors. But then your conceptual pieces with the hair and with the hand-painted eyes tend to ask you questions about culture, about ideals of beauty. What are some current issues in the world that are important to you as an artist?
There are plenty of issues that are always present in my mind, but most recently I'm very concerned in the way that we as grown-ups shape the self-presentation that young kids formulate of themselves. And I am very concerned with the idea of how beauty can be seen from a very young age, and behind that concept I'm working with the hair element as a symbol that reminds me how strong still being the process of identity, the formulation of an identity at a young age. And for me that's one of the major concerns, how identity can be influenced by an element of genetics, by a single element as hair, and how much can we do in order to get our kids in the right path, acceptation, being happy and being creative with what we are without assuming postures that really affect us in a cultural aspect.
It's a really interesting concept, hair. Not only is it our DNA, but also in a world filled with status and celebrity,
Definitely.
Hair has become status.
Yes, it is, because the more artificial you can do with your natural elements, it looks like you're meant to be a successful person, a popular person, and I think we have to really reshape those aspects, and we have to go back to our roots and really give the value to what we came from with when we were born. And it's not just to go back and stay there, but to go back, reevaluate the ways we conceive ourselves. And in a society like this, where we want to show with what we want to look like and know what we look like, for me it's very important. And it's important to show to younger people that really what we have can be seen as a beautiful thing, and not necessarily we have to pretend to look like the celebrities, to have what they have, the color of our hair, the shape of our bodies, the eyes, the color that we have in our eyes. The natural elements really are beautiful. We don't have to cover that in order to look better, because I think we look well and we can look better by just looking at what we are and how we are in the mirror. It's just the way we value things that we have to reconsider.
If there was something you would like the viewer to take away from your works, what would that be?
That it is really hard for us to take a look to what we have in front, and for my work, in order to have the effect I want to, I need the viewer to really look at the work without getting lost in the work, by looking at themselves in the process of that conversation that my work is bringing to them. I want my work to make people think that they have huge value, and that this work is just the starting point of a conversation that we all need to have with ourselves.
Leslie, thank you so much for having me today at your studio. I think your work is beautiful, it's strong, it's poignant, and I think for me it puts a mirror in front of my face to ask myself questions that I think are important. And I want to thank you for that.
Thank you, Natalie. Thank you so much.